Afternoon, guys. What's going on? We are just crossing over the Delaware Memorial Bridge right now, which can only mean one thing. That means we are on our way to see our favorite transmission builder, Mr. John Muldoon, because he has the first gen transmission all done and wrapped up. So that's where we're headed. It's been kind of a crappy day all day, very rainy, cloudy, miserable, and we didn't feel like being outside. So I was like, this is probably a good opportunity just to come down, grab the transmission. We're gonna go over kind of what was done to mine specifically, go over the full manual valve body and the ratchet shifter setup that John has, and some other cool stuff that he's got going on. So stay tuned for that. We're almost here. We're about 10 minutes away, so we're just gonna probably jump right to the shop. And here we are. All right, boys, leave a comment down below. How many of you people got your truck sitting right here? I see a white dually. Look at all these bad Larrys. Oh, I know whose that one is. Hello, anybody home? Oh, what is that? I got an old Ford F-1000 in the back. Behind the scenes, ordering some Mexican food.
And 2 with sour cream.
The sour cream is throwing him off. John doesn't want sour cream on his burrito.
Yeah, that's good. And no guac. No guac.
No guac. The guac is extra. All right, guys, so we have the transmission now set up for the first gen on John's little test table here with the ratchet shifter. We're kind of going to go through just to explain a little bit of background, what it is, before we get into a little bit of details. So this is a full manual valve body. For those who don't know, this is where John takes it away on technically what is a full manual valve body.
Full manual valve body is a valve body configuration that essentially allows you to, the user of the vehicle, to select what gear the vehicle is going to be in. The transmission does not shift itself, the user shifts the transmission.
So as manual as you can get an automatic.
Yeah, but there's no clutch, and you don't lose boost in between shifts. So you go faster with these.
So that's what the first gen is going to be running. It is a full manual ratchet shifter transmission configuration using a shifter that John sets up. And this is a 3-speed shifter because overdrive and lockup are on switches. Only you have first, second, third. With the motion of the shifter, everything else is electronic.
100% correct.
Boom. So all of this stuff John basically puts together. These are pieces and parts that come in a kit that you can set up for people, correct, with your valve body and send them the whole install kit, correct?
More or less. I mean, all these brackets and everything you see, this cable, this bracket, all that stuff is actually included with the TCI shifter. The only thing we're responsible for is pretty much this. This is what we call our hind joint setup, and this is used to affix your throttle valve lever position so you can dial in your transmission mainline pressure.
Gotcha. And then this little harness that you have set up gets tied into your factory plug here.
Yes. Now the harness, the integral switches are not something that comes with the shifter. This was an idea we had many moons ago. When we dissected the shifter, we saw that there was space that could accommodate for switches. And then we also saw that there was a track where we could run wires. And we were like, okay. So TCI offers shifters with switches built in. However, they are a momentary push button. I think they do have a toggle model, but it's only one switch. So you could use one for lockup, but this does lockup and overdrive. And you can configure the switches in any position you would like. You can make the top one lockup or the bottom one overdrive or vice versa.
Okay, so now that you have your basic understanding of how this works and we have it set up here for you guys, we'll be able to see how the gear works.
So right now this is first gear, manual first. There's second. For third, you grab the lever and keep it depressed. There you go, third. Once you're in third, you can let it go and the transmission will stay in third. And then we typically configure them to have lockup and then overdrive next. And then after that, you got neutral, you would bump forward. Reverse, you grab this lever here. There's reverse, and then for park, there's park. And then going into gear is the best one. Pull it back, that's it. You're rolling.
Nice. John doesn't want you to know, but this TCI Outlaw shifter comes in a blackout version, which is what I got, or you can get a silver version, but the black ones are... All right, so as far as specifics go on my specific transmission, everyone kind of knows that the first gen is a two-wheel drive truck, even though this is a four-wheel drive transmission. We'll get to that. As far as specifics on the build and everything goes, it is just a stage 4 off of Muldoon's. You can go to Muldoon's Muldoonsperformance.com?
Muldoon's Diesel Performance. Or no, what is my website? It's muldoonsdiesel.com.
I doesn't even know. Muldoonsdiesel.com. I'll put it right here. You guys have known, and I'll link the video going over all the stages in person. Now, if you want to listen to John talk about the stages versus reading about the stages, you can read them on his website, or you can listen to the video that I'll put somewhere in this general area. John, on our previous video, we went over all of the stages in depth. This is a stage 4. This is the Mac Daddy. This is the oversized input, billet, intermediate, and our output situation is a little bit different, seeing as two-wheel drive, which is what we're going to explain. But as far as everything else, stage 4 is the top of the line, rated for 1,000 plus.
Yeah, this is for our guys that are really, our stage 3 is good for 1,000. These are for guys going above 1,000.
So we all know the first gen is not there yet, but we do have maybe some big plans for it in the future. Our friends over at Suncoast were awesome enough to inscribe the Wrenchworks logo on our output setup here. So John, explain what our output setup is. This is from Suncoast. Take it from there.
So you explained half of it. It's essentially, it's very similar. If I were to put it in layman's terms, it would be a extended 4-wheel drive billet output shaft that can accept the drive shaft. And the reason for it being extended is so that it can accommodate for a slip yoke on a drive shaft. Because when your suspension goes into travel, your drive shaft, the fore and aft of the drive shaft, you need some wiggle room. And what this has is it has a roller bearing inside. You need a roller bearing slip yoke. And essentially it's the strongest two-wheel drive output shaft on the market.
They make this though because on a two-wheel drive trans, your output options are limited, and this is the length, correct? You're saying something about the length being a strength factor.
Yes.
As far as the shaft that is in this housing that will work with two-wheel drives now is much stronger just by sheer length of the shaft.
This shaft isn't going to be really, it's not going to see quite the amount of torsional load that this shaft would because it's so much shorter.
Because normally that would be how much longer it is, roughly.
Yeah. I mean, there's a two-wheel drive unit there in comparison to a four-wheel over on and the two-wheel drive housing is about
that one right there. You can see how long that bad guy is, and you can see how much shorter, and hence the stubby name.
Stubby. There are options for this in billet, but we like this guy.
But this is macho overkill for when would you suggest somebody to go to something like that?
If you're out
for a stage 4 build only, pretty much.
If you want to run a two-wheel drive billet output, I would just recommend this right off the bat. This shaft is good up to around 600 horsepower, safely.
In billet?
Driver. No.
Or just the factory?
In the factory. The billet ones are kind of hard to come by. There's only one manufacturer doing billet two-wheel drive output shafts.
Okay.
Personally, if it was me, I would just run a stubby.
Okay.
I would do the drive shaft modifications, and I would run a stubby.
There you go. Right from the man himself.
Makes sense. It's not really super long.
Yes, sir. So this does require a special slip yoke that we will have to run, like John was saying, the roller style slip yoke. And we'll have to do that, and then, like he said, our drivetrain modifications would be getting another drive shaft made to meet up, and we are swapping the rear at the same time, so that way our joints can work together, and that's pretty much it. We also might need to, the cross member bolts are going to be in a little bit of a different location, so we might have to do some cross member work for that to work in the first gen as well, but well worth it to have a much better platform in the truck.
Say bye.
Bye, John. Bye, Mike. Bye. Bye.
Have a safe drive.
Safe drive home. Back to New Jersey we go. They're shutting down shop. We kept them up late. Bye. Bye, bye, bye. And that is exactly why we have the transmission chilling in the back, because we do not want that beautiful, beautiful masterpiece to get all messed up in the rain. All right, guys, it's 12:30 now. It's way, way, way past Greg's bedtime, but we are home now. Trans is back. Got the rear. It's time to get rolling on the first gen, so get pumped for that. Again, I will say it again, John is the man. I would not trust my trans work with anybody else, and he is just a awesome stand-up, meticulous, every I dotted, every T crossed kind of guy, and I can say nothing but good things. 2 thumbs up if I could give you 2 thumbs up, but go check him out. I've given you all the description. I'll put it down here again. Go over all of his stages and just get with him. You know, send him an email, give him a call. He's down in Delaware, and I can promise you, you won't find a better guy to build your trans, get a valve body from. Just from all of the little details to him being able to test the valve bodies there before they even go out. Everything comes with instructions, like just top to bottom. He's got it covered. He's got it covered, and he's got you covered, and that's the big thing. So great customer service, but enough about that. We're going inside, you're going to bed, or eating dinner, breakfast, or lunch, whatever the heck you're doing. I don't know what you're doing right now, but thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hit that like button before you leave. Subscribe if you have not already. See you.